So the last time we went to Eagle Lake, the fishing was not all that great. And so, and especially after the sun came up. We did okay before the sun came up, but once the sun came up we weren't catching anything. And so Jake kept trying these different gimmicky fishing techniques. He would, whenever we let him steer the boat, which was a stupid decision, he would watch for fish to surface, and when they would come up, he would zip over there with the boat and try to cast his leaded line worm over to where the fish was, which of course is ridiculous. Or he would turn, if we saw a fish on the fish finder, he would turn around in a circle over the spot, and so whoever's pole was on the inside of the turn, the worm would sink to the bottom and you'd get snagged. Or I think we caught a fish one time on this one ridge where it went from like 60 feet to 10 feet, and Jake would keep going over that ridge, and we'd all get snagged because you had to bring your line into, you know, about 10-foot depth to keep from getting snagged. Or he would, this didn't affect the rest of us so we didn't care, but he would let his line out, and then he'd reel it in, and then he'd let it out, and then he'd reel it in the whole time he was fishing. And of course, none of these gimmicky techniques worked at all. And we lost all respect for Jake as a fisherman. But one day, he went to the marina, and I went with him. I can vouch that this was true. And he looked at all the lures that were there, and picked one that he thought would work. And it happened to be one that was recommended by the marina, but we didn't really know that at the time. And so the next morning fishing, he was talking up this new gimmick lure that he thought was so awesome. Adam and I didn't give any credence to it. And so like normal, we did pretty good while it was still dark, and when the sun came up, Jake caught 2 fish on this gimmick lure pretty soon after the sun came up. Adam, you know, thought maybe Jake had cheated and hooked the fish on the end of the line or something. He didn't believe it at all.
At best, at that point, it was a fluke.
Fluke, yeah. But I decided to give it a try, and I caught, I think I needed 1 more fish to get my limit that day, and so I got my limit. Adam would not do it that first day.
How did that make you feel, Adam?
I think you shouldn't use gimmicks when you're fishing. There's tried and true methods. You should stick to those. I didn't like that you brought a gimmick on board. It was all you were doing the whole trip was gimmicks, and so I didn't like it. But after everybody else did, and I was having no luck
The next day,
with worms or needlefish.
when the 2 of us had limited already, we finally convinced Adam to try the gimmick lure,
I resisted,
and he limited.
but I finally gave in. I wanted to prove to you that it was a fluke, that it would not work for me. I wanted to prove that it wasn't going to catch any fish. So I tried the gimmick lure, and I caught my fish
It worked.
immediately.
And that was the result. That was how the fishing trip went. We kept catching fish the rest of the trip on the gimmick lure after the sun came up.
Hello?
The end.
Yeah.
Yes.
You didn't get it, did you?